Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking the fascinating science of natural rhythms, and we're going to look at how aligning our personal planning to the Earth's cycles is literally the ultimate antidote to modern burnout. We'll explore how stepping away from this need for relentless optimization and actually returning to fundamental biological timing can completely transform your energy, your productivity, and honestly, your overall well-being.
Think about it. For millennia, our bodies evolved to anticipate natural rhythms. Our ancestors' days were governed by the sun, their months by the moon, and their years by the steady, predictable progression of the seasons. But today, well, we live in this relentless, artificially lit, climate-controlled 24/7 reality. We expect constant availability and continuous linear growth, pretty much completely ignoring the darkness of night or the natural dormancy of winter. The problem is, our bodies are still operating on ancient biological software, while our modern lifestyles are effectively trying to override the whole system.
And the cost of that disconnect? It is staggering. To put it in perspective, between 50 to 70 million Americans alone suffer from chronic sleep problems. Why? Because our biology is physically fighting our modern lifestyle. When we live out of sync with these natural environmental cues, it doesn't just make us reach for a third cup of coffee in the afternoon. It drives epidemic levels of burnout, anxiety, chronic fatigue, and even seasonal depression. We're basically pushing ourselves to maintain a flat line of high activity regardless of the time or season, and our biological engines are just breaking down as a result.
So to fix this, we need a framework. Today we'll cover 1. Daily foundations, 2. Monthly frameworks, 3. Yearly energy, and 4. The integrated system.
Let's start with Section 1, Daily Foundations, your circadian rhythm.
Okay, so it turns out your energy levels aren't just about sheer willpower. They are a matter of chronobiology. Deep inside your brain, right inside your hypothalamus, is an actual master clock made of roughly 20,000 neurons called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. That's a mouthful, but what it does is incredible. This master clock receives direct input from light-sensitive cells in your eyes, and then it coordinates timing signals to almost every single organ in your body. It manages your sleep-wake cycles, hormones like cortisol and melatonin, and even your body temperature.
But here's the catch. We don't all run on the exact same schedule. Our internal clocks, or chronotypes, are largely genetic. You might be a lark who absolutely thrives at dawn, an owl who peaks late at night, or maybe a third bird sitting somewhere in the middle. Knowing this isn't just a fun little personality quiz, it's the actual blueprint for how you should structure your day so you can stop fighting against your own natural energy currents.
The real game changer here is mapping your activities to your biology. An ideal daily timeline respects your body's need to ramp up, peak, and predictably wind down. You get bright morning light to trigger the clock, you tackle your hardest, most demanding mental tasks during your late morning cognitive peak, and then you shift to collaborative or physical tasks in the afternoon. And most importantly, you intentionally step away from artificial blue light in the evening to prepare for recovery.
Moving on to Section 2, Monthly Frameworks, Lunar Cycles for Planning.
Now, I know what you might be thinking, but far from mysticism, the lunar cycle is actually a highly logical, four-step framework for any month-long project, like, say, writing a major report or launching a new marketing campaign. You start at the new moon by setting intentions and planting the seeds. By the first quarter, you take action and push through those inevitable obstacles. The full moon is for culmination, delivering the project and actually celebrating the win. Finally, the last quarter is a period of release, evaluation, and intentional rest before the next cycle begins. It gives your workflow a built-in, predictable rhythm of initiation, action, completion, and rest. Let's zoom out to Section 3, Yearly Energy, Seasonal Planning and Life Design.
Instead of expecting nonstop linear growth, which is exhausting, we can assign different phases of our major life goals to the specific natural energies of the four seasons. Spring is for emergence and fresh starts. Summer is your high-energy period for aggressive execution and expansion. Autumn is when you harvest, complete those major projects, and evaluate your progress. And winter? It's meant for deep reflection, research, and true rest. When we try to maintain high-octane summer energy in the dead of winter, running on pure caffeine and sheer panic, we completely drain our reserves and basically guarantee burnout.
I absolutely love this perspective because it completely reframes our modern guilt around resting. It reminds us that dormancy is not a failure. It is a required, highly productive phase of every living system. If you take away anything from this explainer today, let it be this. Your periods of lower energy are not a sign of weakness. They are biological imperatives designed to help you consolidate your growth and prepare for the next season of activity.
Finally, let's look at Section 4, the integrated system, bringing it all together.
So how do we use all of this? It's a layered approach that seamlessly integrates your habits, your projects, and your goals without fighting against your own biology. Your circadian rhythms act as your rock-solid daily foundation. The monthly lunar framework gives your active projects a natural pulse of momentum and review, and that yearly seasonal context guides the overarching direction of your life's major milestones. You're no longer forcing constant unnatural output, you're just riding the natural waves of your own energy.
Which brings us to the ultimate question. Which natural cycle will you reconnect with today? Take a hard look at your own schedule. Find those friction points that are causing you burnout, and ask yourself, will you start by just getting a little morning sunlight to reset your daily clock? Will you structure your next big work project around the 4 phases of the month? Or will you finally give yourself permission to enter a period of winter rest? The path to sustainable energy isn't about pushing harder, it's about aligning smarter. Thank you for joining me on this explainer, and I challenge you to take that very first step toward natural alignment today.